So I've been working on this book, The Power of Shame. It's by a guy named Thompson. And so to date, he's kind of like gone through all the features that shame produces in our relationships. The way it causes all kinds of challenges, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. The way it causes great and vast discomfort. All those pieces go into the mix. But tonight, in this chapter, he's going to work on talking about what is, I guess the one question is there, but what is the solution to shame? What is the solution to shame? I want to get into a story that he wrote to kind of get started with this. So he goes, so after several sessions, Carla eventually came to a point of realization. I think I know why I can't tell him. And it boils down to this. She said, I feel too vulnerable. There. She said it. She uttered what many of us might easily say is one of the most uncomfortable sensations that we know. To feel vulnerable is to feel, as did Adam and Eve after their fruit fest, naked and ashamed. For in the story of the world, portrayed in the biblical narrative, shame is the tacit emotional payload that vulnerability carries. In our minds, to be vulnerable is to carry and sense the potential for danger. But this danger isn't perceived as being merely that of a physical annihilation, limited to the functions of the brainstem and limbic circuitry. It is the even more consciously terrifying prospect of relational disintegration. Relational disintegration, which eventually leads to the prefrontal cortex telling us we are not enough, and the specter of our being left as a result. To be vulnerable is to recognize that we are at the mercy of those intentions whose intentions we cannot guarantee and who can leave us alone. I would have never associated, until I read this chapter and got into this, I would have never honestly associated the antidote, or whatever you want to call it, to shame, those feelings of shame, embarrassment, fear that I'm not okay, fear that I'm not enough, all of that. I'm not sure that I would have ever associated that, the solution to that, as being vulnerability. And yet, especially for a guy, one of the best things that ever happens to us as men is when we finally get to that place of like running out of room to run out in, right? We don't know where else to run. We don't know what else to do. And finally, we kind of end up in a heap. And we end up in a heap at somebody's doorstep, footstep, feet, face, whatever. We end up in a heap and we're like, I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to say next. I don't know what to think next. I'm probably mightily embarrassed. But the thing that's the most powerful is, the shocker for me for sure was, the actual agent and opportunity for healing that comes directly from Jesus is vulnerability. It's vulnerability. It's like going to the opposite. It's like the opposite spectrum that you would have believed the solution was going to come from. You'd be like, well, the answer is you got to do better. You got to be more disciplined. You got to work harder. You got to think better. You got to have better thoughts. You got to read better books. You got to know better people. You got to dissociate yourself from these people and get to the right people. That's your problem. Your problem is the books you read. Your problem is the magazines you look at. Your problem is the TV you watch. The problem is the movie you watch. The problem is all of your online gaming. It's like, man, who would have ever thought out of all those solutions that the problem is we're not vulnerable. We're not honest. We can't seem to be able to get there. Like I know growing up, I don't think I ever would have had the freedom to do this until my dad. But I watched my dad on several occasions come in completely shot from work. Like he ran a men's clothing company and, started off selling men's clothes and was the controller for that company and all of that. And like he would come in completely shot, like blown away with everything that happened in the day. Stuff had gone wrong, missed shipments, all of that. And so in front of all of us, my mother would go up to him. My mom was 5 feet tall. My dad was 6'1". She would go up to him, look him straight up in the face, cup his face, and go, "Well, what's wrong, baby?" Just like that. Just like that. Like I was like thinking originally, I'm like, oh, man, God help me if that ever happens to me. If that's your mom. I mean, you're like, who would want your mom to go just to do all of that? But then like when she did that to me, first time I was probably, 14 or 15. And I was put out about something at school, like usual, and something had gone wrong. Somebody had said something wrong. I wasn't invited out, and I don't know what it was. It was something. Got home. I was pretty much always walked home every chance I got, So walked home with some friends and came in the house. My mom, like rapid fire radar. She comes up to me, "Well, what's wrong, honey?" And here came the hands, right here. And you're looking right at her. And you can't move to the left. You can't move to the right. You got to look at her. And you start off saying what, of course? What's the first thing you say? The first thing my dad said, nothing. It's like, man, you can already, the thing is, the nothing part doesn't do jack because the person you're talking to, when they have your face in their hands, fully knows that something is very wrong. The question isn't whether they know it. The question is whether you're going to share it. And I watched my dad do this a few different times. And I mean, it was something. Like they would kind of like, my mom would drop what she was doing with dinner or have somebody else take over. And she would deliberately either go outside or go sit in another room and spend a good 20, 30 minutes with my dad. And do you know that whether we were having dinner or not having dinner, she would do that with all of us. It was a tremendous gift she gave us. She knew how to be vulnerable. She always said she wanted a really big family. She said one child in their family. She always said she wanted a lot of kids, wanted 6 kids. And man, that openness to being able to allow somebody to tell you that something is wrong is a very big deal. Most people that I know would tell you that the first place they ever went to where they could do that kind of sharing was Al-Anon, AA, Alateen, they might remember that. ACOA, they would tell you about groups like that. They would tell you about groups exactly like that. They would say, man, I didn't really want to go there that bad. I didn't want to hang out there much. But then pretty soon, somewhere along the way, I started thinking, I really can't not be there. That's vulnerability. Like, if you enter into vulnerability, how long does it take you to understand that being open with somebody, being caring with somebody, being straight with somebody, telling somebody the truth, even when it's difficult, I guess the word might be embarrassing, is just like, it's not a moment of weakness, it's actually a moment of strength. That's so hard. That's so hard to come to terms with. I think honestly, it's especially hard for guys. Like, I really do. Like, I think it's really tough stuff. But the thing about it is, it's also a huge indicator for all of us of what healthy living is all about. When you look at the 12 steps, you go look at the big book, you go look at the principles that are in those materials, you go look at Al-Anon stuff, they all take you to one central place. How do you break into your heart so that you understand from somebody, somewhere, what it's like to love, what it's like to be loved, what it's like to be free of the shame that you've been carrying around for a good long while, of failure, of not being good enough. How much damage in this world has been done to you guys think by that one simple deal? Man, I don't feel good enough. I don't feel up to it. I don't feel like I really should be with him. I don't feel like I should really be with her. I don't really feel like I should be a dad. I don't really feel like I should be a mom. Man, how much damage has that caused? All in the name of, at least for men, pride and all that. It's like, man, but what did the pride get you? Did the pride open you up to freedom? It did not. Like, the most open men I've ever met are men that go to AA and Al-Anon. I gotta just say, I don't know of more open men. I don't know that. And I'm spoiled rotten because 15 years plus, I've been sharing that experience with people over and over again, week after week, day after day. It's good stuff. But what a shocker that the best possible antidote to shame, which causes the most possible vulnerability on the planet, is actually what? You ready? Vulnerability. Vulnerability. It's like, how is that? It's kind of like, there's certain antidotes for like snake bites and stuff that are like that, aren't they? You extract the venom from a snake, you mix part of it up, and that's sort of the venom or the anti-venom. That happens. And you're like, yeah. The most powerful weapon against shame is vulnerability. Notice that from the beginning, when God comes, he asks questions. God is the one pursuing answers. We're talking about what happens after Adam and Eve get into a conversation with God. God tells them there's just this one thing not to do. Don't eat from the fruit of this tree right over there. And they get caught with apples, pears, whatever, in their hands. From the very beginning, when God comes, he asks questions. He is the one pursuing the answers. Where are you? Where are you? The question assumes vulnerability is in order. God is seeking naked creativity. He is asking us to be as vulnerable as he was in creating us in the first place. Like, there was a lot of risk. There was a lot of risk with God. I mean, like, I remember watching that movie, Oh God, the first round of it, right? And so most of you are just, frankly, too young to know anything about that freaking movie, but I don't care. I mean, it's fine. So God's like, he's looking at it. What is he looking at? Like what was the animal he was looking at? Not a giraffe. Maybe it was a giraffe. And he looks at this giraffe and he goes, God, I really kind of screwed that up. I mean, like, too long of legs, too tall, too gangly, all that. I mean, and I don't know, there was another one, aardvark or something like that. I don't know what it was, but like, you think about that. You think about the vulnerability that God had going on as the creator in the very first place. He goes on and he says, he is looking for us, God is, because he longs for us to be with him, to be vulnerable as he is with us, for us to know his delight with us, which is present all the time. Even in the presence of other things, he may simultaneously feel. God is not asking the couple their whereabouts to acquire their geographic location. He's not, in other words, doing a find my friends deal. Nor is God simply looking for information about the state of their souls. God's question is a means of connecting. He is not inviting them. He is not inviting them into a place of vulnerability merely for vulnerability's sake. Rather, vulnerability is the state we must pass through in order to deepen our connection with God. It's the state we must pass through in order to deepen our connection with God and with others, given our condition. There is no other way. What's our condition? Well, out of that garden, out of that being on the run from God, if someone doesn't stop us from running, we run as far away from God as we possibly can. Even if we're not running from God, we don't really trust God. We want God to keep his distance. We'll keep ours. We'll keep trying to do good stuff as best we can. We'll keep trying to be good people. We'll keep trying to be good Christians. But see, the thing about it is, while you're trying to be a good Christian, don't you kind of miss the falling in love with God part? Don't you kind of miss God putting his hands to your face and going, well, what's wrong, baby? Don't you kind of miss that? Like when we play this relationship out where God is just so big and God is so majestic and God is so out there and we're never going to fully understand God and we're never going to get all right with God. It's like all of that is true. We're not. But I want you to also understand something else. God is so close to us, loves us so much, wants to be on our hearts so much, wants to love us so much, wants to set us free from our fears so much, wants to set us free from our failures so much, that what did he do? He gave me Jesus. He gave me Jesus. Wholehearted living is about engaging in our lives from a place of worthiness. It means cultivating the courage, compassion, and connection to wake up in the morning and think, no matter what else gets done and how much is left undone, I am enough. What would it be like if you got up tomorrow and thought just that? How much healthier would you be? How much freer would you be? How much more content would you be? It's going to bed at night thinking, yes, I'm imperfect and I'm vulnerable, and sometimes I'm afraid. But that doesn't change the truth that I'm also brave and worthy of love and belonging. Whew. Living wholeheartedly is having the courage to be imperfect. Have compassion to oneself and others, and having connection as a result of vulnerability and authenticity. Those who live, and I love that word, those who live wholeheartedly believe that what made them vulnerable made them also beautiful and necessary. What made them vulnerable also made them beautiful and necessary. It's Brene Brown, Gift of Imperfection. I think it's a shocker when you first start thinking about being ashamed of yourself and all the times that we felt that way. How many times that comes into our lives? How many times during the day we might feel that way? It's a shocker because who would have ever thought that the most powerful antidote to shame would actually be vulnerability? Can you see that yellow graphic? Can you see that yellow graphic? There it is. So, look at this graphic. You have personal truth, whatever the personal truth is about you. And so, on one side, you embrace and share with other people using courage, honesty, and self-love. That will take you to a place of some vulnerability. Other people are going to respond in your life a variety of ways. They may withhold affection from you. They may judge you. They may disrespect you. They may betray you. Or, that'd be on the shame side. Or, they may show you compassion. They may show you respect. They may show you trust. Out of that's going to come the opportunity for love and connection. Out of that is going to come the self-conscious belief that, you know what, I'm discovering, and I think this is a huge, huge piece to sobriety. I'm discovering that I am worthy. I'm worthy. I'm worthy of the love of Jesus. I'm worthy of the restoration of Jesus. I'm worthy of the hope of Jesus. I'm worthy of the new life in Jesus. I'm worthy of love, and I'm worthy of belonging. Or I could take it the other way, and I could give all that power to shame. Shame makes me feel incredibly unworthy. Shame makes me feel unworthy of love and of having love, of giving love, and of receiving love. Shame makes me want to lash out, be aggressive, be violent, maybe even bully. Shame makes me want to isolate. Shame makes me want to have false connections. And false connections are really the need to fit in, the need to seek praise from any and everybody. It may even involve something like an eating disorder, which is I gotta look this way, I gotta look like this, I gotta have this perspective body-wise to be able to be acceptable and be okay. If I don't have that, people aren't going to love me and they're not going to accept me. I think it goes to how we really at our base deal with shame. First thing with shame, I think, is we move away. We move away from that shame, or we try to. We withdraw. We hide. We try to silence ourselves. We don't want to tell anybody how we're really feeling. We're a million miles away from being vulnerable right now, and we keep secrets. Or I can deal with shame by moving toward it. I can move there by trying to seek and appease. Seek and appease and please. Seek, appease, and please. That's going to put me on a rat race that'll be kind of like a never-ending whirlpool that I'm never really going to get out of. Or I can move against it. I can try to gain power over others. I can be aggressive. I can use shame to actually fight shame in my life. See, all of these storylines move us away from our story, the story God is writing about us. They all move us away from that. Because shame is about fear, it's about blame, It's about disconnection. But story, our story, the story God is writing about you, the story God is writing about me tonight, is about worthiness and embracing not being perfect. Wouldn't that be a breath of fresh air for those of you that tonight are like, I can't get this right, I can't stop this, I can't get that right, I can't control that, I can't stop looking at this, I can't stop doing that. Wouldn't that be a breath of fresh air for you to be able to go, you know what? I can embrace the imperfection because that is the kind of life that Jesus showed me. Embracing the imperfection brings me courage. Embracing the imperfection brings me compassion. Embracing the imperfection brings me connection. If we'll let him. If we'll let him. That's a big if. If we'll let him, God will come here tonight. Jesus will come here tonight in this room by your seat, and he will take away the stale breath of shame. He's going to come here tonight and take away the stale breath of shame. He doesn't ask you to do any more than he's already done. What God has done in Jesus is give you the cross. The cross of Jesus is the most beautiful image for me ever that I will ever see in my entire life. Hard, but beautiful. When I go to church on Good Friday, and I never miss, gotta say, and you should go somewhere. I have never in a church felt more loved than I do on Good Friday. I have felt that way since I was a little kid. And I'm very happy that we're doing Good Friday worship here now. We didn't always do it, but I'm really happy that we do. Because I know this, the love of God in Jesus is so thick here. It's so legitimate here. It's so real here. You can't get enough of it. Makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Causes a lot of tears. It's important. The way that makes us feel, that vulnerability, is really important. Because what that is then, is God breaking into your soul. And God saying, I want to have room here to operate. I want to come here and be with you. It's God doing this. Tell me what's going on, baby. Just tell me what's going on. You begin to share. And before you know it, you've unloaded 10,000 pounds of burden. And that's what I'm hoping we're going to see and be able to pray for tonight. Man, in Jesus' sweet name, amen.